Welcome to our Vantastic channel. We are Sara and Jonni, and together we did live almost a decade in a camper van, and we did sold our van
couple of months ago. And in this video we will go through
why we sold our van
and move it to the
truck camper. Let's find out. So the number one reason is really boring why we changed our rigs. It's because of the money.
Yeah. So in Finland, the yearly diesel tax actually six-folded in 1 year time. So in next year we would pay a lot of more yearly tax on the van, 600 euros more.
And that's so much money. So
for nothing.
And owning any kind of vehicles is very heavily taxed already.
So adding up a six-fold diesel tax, it's too much.
Yeah, so we got beyond pissed when we heard the news, and our first coping was to register our camper van to some other country.
We actually researched that a long time while we were in Greece during the winter months. But we didn't find any new home where we could actually settle.
Yeah, we need an address, so we need some kind of plot where we can register our vehicle and want to maybe settle in that country. But we did not find anything that was suitable for us.
Because we have a really tight budget and we don't want to spend a lot of money just avoiding 600 euro tax.
Exactly. So that plan went to downhill. And we decided to sell the camper van and buy something that is not that heavily taxed.
And in Finland, truck campers are taxed as vans, not motorhomes. So in that way, our taxation stays the same as camper van before. So it doesn't increase. Somebody would say that 600 euros per year is so little amount of money that why we going through these hassles? Well, if you think 600 euros for 20 years, and if you invest that money, 600 euros per year, it's something around 20 to 30,000 euros, depending on the stock market. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So every time when we make decisions of our future, we don't just think next year.
Or just go to the work for a few weeks to gain that money so you can pay more taxes. No, it's always the long run.
Yeah. We don't want to pay taxes to Finland because we don't spend time in here, so we don't get anything out of that taxation. We are just paying. Government just sucks blood out of us and we don't get anything from return.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we are living over 6 months per year outside of the Finland.
The van life boom has grown since past decade that we lived in a van, and we kind of took advantage of this van life boom and decided to sell our camper now that they are really high valued.
We got the same amount of money from the van that we paid 10 years and 150,000 kilometers ago.
So it was basically 10 years free living.
Yeah, no expenses.
So it was a good deal in that sense.
And
camper vans are luxury vehicles, and one reason why they decided to sell the almighty camper van is Jonni is excellent handy guy, and we felt like we are wasting his talents because Jonni can build and renovate and sort things out.
But if we have a quite new van, there's hardly anything broken.
So it's like a talent wasted, so we wanted something more rustic and something more problematic maybe. So we can feel like we are saving so much more money. The truck campers are kind of new vehicles, especially here in Finland, because a few years ago they were totally illegal. So there's not a truck camper boom yet, and we got this camper kind of cheap price.
So basically it's 1/3 of the price of our van, the truck and the camper. So we don't have that much money anymore, like stuck in a vehicle. We were really happy when we moved from the apartment and sold it, because we don't have to keep money on the walls. It's the same thing on a van. You want to have less money stuck on something because the value goes down, and yeah, it's not a good investment.
And there's almost extra worries if you drive expensive vehicle.
Yeah. So now when we have a inexpensive vehicle, we don't have that much money on it, and we don't have to worry about it that much.
Yeah, and it means we have more money now to travel. So we don't have to go back to work.
That is the best part. We don't have freedom. And no need going back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
As I said earlier, that we always think ahead, like 2 decades ahead. So now owning a truck, it's much more easier to change the country that we are living in. Usually in countries in Europe, they have some kind of import taxes on the cars. So if we move to another country, we pay for the import tax only about the truck part, not the van life boom van part, because they are so expensive and you pay per % those import taxes. So it's much more easier to change countries. And one bonus thing, if we want to move to Portugal, trucks older than 2007, the yearly tax is like 65 euros. Tiny amount. So we have done a lot of research doing this choice.
Yeah, why the truck camper is more suitable for us now in this life situation.
Yeah.
There are several perks owning a truck camper versus the camper van.
Or the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. I think the truck camper is something mixed with the both.
Yeah. So, for example, now we are on our plot. The camper part is detached from the truck, and we can use a truck as a normal truck.
Yeah.
So
arranges, so we don't have to clean the pod itself.
So it can leave here like the mess behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's easy to detach and attach, pack together. So we have the benefit of trailer and also motorhome.
Yeah.
In a one package.
This is a 4x4 truck, so we can get into the places. And everybody knows the van life boom is still going on, so there's plenty of motorhomes and vans around Europe traveling. And we feel like if we drive a little further than most people, we can be alone in the nature, which we prefer.
And getting a 4x4 van, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But really expensive. So getting a 4x4 and the reduction gears on the truck, it's much more inexpensive.
Yeah.
This way. If our truck goes bad, or it's too much kilometers, or it's the motor goes bad, or we have to sell it,
Yeah.
we still have the camper pod. So we can change it to another truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the Nissan Navarra. We can put it on the Toyota Hilux, Isuzu NV200, or Mitsubishi, or anything, any truck camper. And also, we can put it on the trucks, which has a flatbed. For example, the van, Ducato has one, and the Sprinter has one.
We really like Ducato.
Yeah, so if we need more storage space, or we need more weight limit, we can buy a Sprinter flatbed and put this camper pod on top of it.
Yeah, and the best part is we don't have to get rid of all this.
Because the technical life expectancy of this truck camper or the camper pod is something around 40 to 50 years. Yeah. They are still 40-year-old or 35 or even older Bimobil truck camper, Huskies.
On the road.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that if we want, this camper will be on the road 30 years from now.
And it is kind of training if you have to always install the wood stove, always install the new shower, always make a new kitchen, buy the fridges, buy the expensive toilets, and it adapts. And why the trailer is not suitable for us?
Well, you know that we drive in the roads, really narrow roads. Here in Europe, the roads are really narrow, so you cannot get there with a trailer, or you need to be afraid of those roads because there's no usually a place to actually make a U-turn with a trailer.
And we like to wild camp, freestand.
And we want to make it where we are driving.
Yeah.
So, like leaving the trailer to the camping route and going like adventures with the truck, it's not
for us. Yeah. In most European countries, unfortunately, the trailers are treated as a camping gear. And because wild camping is illegal in most of the European countries,
you cannot wild camp that easily with a trailer.
Yeah, it's like a hide and seek game, and we do not like that.
Yeah, so we have seen a lot of trailers being kicked off from wild camping spots. Yeah. And we stayed there with our van.
We have lived on the road past decade, and we have noticed that we like to stay more time in a one spot or in the same area at least. So each year we travel slower and slower. And I think camper van is really excellent to do road trips because it's narrow, slim, compact. You can drive all over the places, to the cities, towns, nature. It's great for exploring. But we are kind of over that phase and we just like to be stuck in the nature. So that's why we feel like this camper truck is more suitable for our current lifestyle.
And we have the plot here in Finland, and we have actually tried to research some plot in Southern Europe to have 2 home bases. And again, detaching the camper part and owning a plot is a great mix.
Yeah.
The living spaces of this camper is 20% smaller than the van that we had.
Yeah. The layout is pretty similar to our van. Like we have the bathroom, we have the dinette section, the kitchen, bed, everything. But we are missing our garage.
So there's less storage space.
Yeah.
But now, when we have moved in, we have all the stuff here inside.
In these cupboards.
What we had in our van.
Yeah. So it's a tight fit, but we don't have to get rid of anything.
So in that sense, even this is a smaller, and everyone was saying that this is a downgrade. But yes, in a
price range,
it's a downgrade, and also in size, it's a downgrade. But we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Because we still have this nice place to chill, and we have a dance floor.
Yeah.
And we can make food together in a kitchen. That wasn't possible in a van.
No, because so narrow hallway. So we have extra space here. And I think because these walls are straight and not like curved like in the camper van, the living space feels so much roomier. And the box itself is 20 centimeters wider than the van. Even it's so much shorter than the van. So it feels kind of roomy.
We loved our van. And it was hard decision to let go.
Yeah.
And it was perfect in every sense. We didn't do the change because we did want to get rid of the van.
No, we absolutely loved that camper van.
And it might be that someday we will buy another camper van.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If we end up not liking this. This truck camper first turned out to be so much more worse condition than we thought, and it was kind of awful times to renovate. But now when we live here and everything is looking more like us, we still have some projects going on, like fixing the back door, but we feel like this is our home now and we did the right thing.
Yeah, so it was the maybe first 2 weeks when we were deep thoughts every night.
What we have done, we have ruined everything. This was worst mistake ever.
But when we got to this section, that this looks like our home,
Yeah.
and we can see our future in this truck camper.
It helps a lot. And I think these truck campers are cozier than camper vans in that sense, because they are not that narrow and there's not a freaking steering wheel in your living room. So this is more homey and cozy in that way. But I did love the camper van sliding door. Oh my god, I really miss that door.
But in general, we still feel that we made the right decision. So you will be seeing us traveling with a truck camper and not buying a camper van for the sake of doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's the burn.
So we will be crying every night in this truck camper just because we want to.
No, Jonni is joking, halfly. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for watching our videos, and we continue renovating our kotila.
Yeah. We are on the last stretches, just small things to do. So we are eagerly waiting for the autumn to come.
And
so,
hitting the road.
Oh, that will be so good feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. See you on the road. Bye.
Bye.